Look at that thing. This is the heater in the back room at the well. This thing is ancient. It's got a gas line, and it pours gas onto that metal grate and then lights it on fire. I wonder why they don't make these anymore. Well, it's certainly warm, and I kind of like it. There's some kind of old, ugly, nasty stuff that I like. I mean, I like pug puppies, and, well, E.T., he's ugly. It's kind of dark back here. Let me light a candle. There. That's better. Well, hello. Here we are, a little fireside chat to return to the Song of Songs we've been looking at together. And today we find ourselves in chapter 1, verse 5. And we're at the point of the story where the introduction has just been given, and I told you how I imagine it as the bride comes out on stage at the beginning of the drama, and the spotlight is on her and only her, and she's in her beautiful white dress, she's radiant, and she gives this impassioned monologue, and then the lights start coming up, and you see this great chorus surrounding her, all these people, and together they exclaim, "We will rejoice in you and be glad. We will extol your love more than wine. Rightly do they love you." And then the lights go down and it's completely black. And then suddenly the spotlight comes up again, and there's the bride standing there, but she's dressed all in black rags, her hair all disheveled. And she says, verse 5, "I am black, but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon." Whoa. That's quite a statement for her to realize that she is dark. She has a dark heart. She's filled with darkness. She's given to darkness. And yet she's lovely. How can these two atomically opposed elements exist in the same space? Yet they do. I think you know that. And that's what she's saying at the beginning. This is really the beginning of this play, this song. She says, "I am dark but lovely, O daughters of Jerusalem." She's talking to her friends around her. She says, "like the tents of Kedar." Now, my understanding from some commentaries I read is that the tents of Kedar were the tents of a nomadic people, and they were made of black goat skin. Yes, black goat skin tents. Those things were dark, and they were smelly. Imagine those things getting drenched in the rain and then dried out in the sun. That had to smell. And she, the bride, was comparing herself to smelly, old, black, goat-skin tents. She said, "I'm like a smelly, old goat hair tent. And I'm lovely, like the curtains of Solomon." Now, use your imagination. Solomon being one of the greatest kings that has ever lived, certainly one of the wealthiest. You think he might have had some nice curtains? I'll bet. Some of the commentators think that Solomon's curtains were embroidered with jewels. I imagine them to be bright and white and beautiful. She's saying, "I am like those curtains, fit for the company, for the home of a king." Now, how can this be? How can she be both of these things? And yet we are, aren't we? We are dark, yet lovely. Our hearts are dark We are given to darkness. We are given to pursue our own ways. We're given to pursue death on our own. We're filled with darkness. Our hearts are deceitful. We follow after our own lusts. And yet we are lovely, created in the image of God, beautiful to Him, desirable to Him, carrying His presence, carrying the image of the most beautiful one in all of existence. How can this be? And yet it is. I see it as Romans 5:8, one of my favorite verses in all of Scripture, where it says, "But God demonstrates His love toward us in this." Ready? This is the place. This is the spot where God demonstrates His love. If you want to know God's love, if you want to have it demonstrated to you, this is where. In this. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Beloved, while we were yet sinners, while we were yet dark, fully given over to the darkness, God desired to demonstrate love toward us. He found us lovely. He found us desirable. He found us valuable. He assigned a price to our lives at that moment, beloved, when we were fully dark. And the price that He assigned to our lives was the life of His very own Son, the King of Kings. God says we are fit for the home of a king. When these two atomically opposed elements come together in our hearts, it is like a nuclear reaction, an explosion of the love of God. This is where we experience the love of God. This is where the journey of the heart begins, beloved. That's why the story, the song of all songs begins there. Black but lovely. I would encourage you, if you are only experiencing one side of that coin, embrace the other. If you only see yourself as dark, and frankly, most believers I bump into only see themselves as dark. They only see their darkness, their sin, their depravity. They only see the wickedness. They only see the deception. They only see the displeasure. Now, beloved, those things are real. That is real. That's a reality. But if you only see that, then you need to embrace the other part of this truth, which is you are lovely. You are lovely. You were created in the image of God, in the image of the most beautiful one there is. You are being conformed day by day into the image of Christ. You were created good. God said, very good. You are His bride, His beloved, and He assigned a great price to your life. You are that valuable to Him. Now, if you only believe that we are good, and you don't believe that we are dark, if you don't believe that we are sinful, if you don't believe that we are depraved, beloved, you need to embrace that side of it too. It's the truth. Left on our own, there is no good in us. We have no good apart from Jesus. We will pursue our own death. And when these two things, both of these things come together, it's like an explosion of the love of God. It's like, I don't know, like natural gas poured out on a metal grate and set on fire, causing a great glowing and a heat to burst forth. Well, may you experience that as you realize you are dark and lovely,